Yeah, and you literally say, I know I'm Christian, but I hate the left.
I do. It's true.
Yeah, I mean,
I do fucking hate leftists.
Yeah, it's...
God will one day punish my eternal soul
So
for
why...
the fact that I just cannot bring myself to not hate fucking leftists.
Well,
don't watch this debate. It's just going to hurt your brain.
The first thing we need to do is vote out all the puppets and vote...
Hang on, who's we?
We the people, everyone on both sides. Forget the culture wars. Let's just have a small truce until the agreed upon terms are agreed upon, and then we can get to the cultural issues.
Okay.
There is no we. Andrew nails this point. Because of the governing system set up, the U.S. populace is now suffering cultural and economic consequences from it. Republics still suffer from the self-destruction of democracy. Everyone's incentives are high time preference. The voters, the elected officials, and the corporatists.
What you're doing is you're saying it's us versus them, we versus those. Okay, I understand that. But who's the we and who are the they?
The we are we the people deciding to...
Well, these are people.
Whoever's on your side, if you elected them and they promise all these things and they're going directly against what you elected them for, plus have PAC contributions from like corporations, and if they're getting rich by trading stock, that sort of thing, then maybe they should go.
Yeah, but the problem is that we live in a democracy. Democracies are set up in power structures, and the power structures are set up based around people's interests. So people have learned that they can raid the treasury by having X amount of people who are representing their interests in office.
Exactly.
So there is no, hang on, no. If that's exactly, then your point's contradicted.
No.
Yeah, I'll explain. Hang on, I'm going to
okay.
explain how your point's contradicted. Because there is no we. There is no collective. What there is there's a whole bunch of different power blocks all competing for their own interests in the United States for power.
The people vote for policies that benefit them directly. Welfare, Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare. The elected grant these policies. They're politically expedient, immediately gratifying, and at the expense of the future. At the same time, they pass quiet policies that benefit their sponsors, the corporatists, through special tax exemptions, subsidies, tariffs, and monopolistic regulations. It becomes a vicious cycle. Everyone is trying to take from the treasury before someone else does. That's the real problem. Our nation is dependent on debt. So instead of paying the cost now, we just push it forward. We take from the future by issuing more loans for future politicians and future voters to deal with. That's why republicanism and democracy become self-destructive. They put people at war over collective property. Everyone wants their turn with the treasury, the big gun that forces everyone else to comply. Everyone wants power, the power to control outcomes. And over centuries, it's made us hate each other.
I'd say no PACs. What I would do in a perfect world is get rid of the PACs altogether and use government funding and give them all the equal amount to campaign on.
She just doesn't get it. Even if you eliminated PACs entirely and gave every candidate equal public funding, the incentive structure won't change. Political office would still control trillions of dollars in taxation and regulation. As long as the state has the power to grant economic advantages, groups will organize to influence it. The problem isn't campaign funding, it's the prize of massive centralized power. As long as that prize exists, power blocks will compete to control it. Farmers want higher subsidies. Seniors want stronger Social Security. Corporations want regulations that squash competition. Unions want leverage. Every group has a reason to win control of federal and state governing bodies. Fixing campaigning doesn't solve the root issue. Even if every politician were perfectly uncorrupt, purely selfless, and loyal to their voting bloc, the problem still remains. Shared political wealth. Because this system is winner takes all. One group wins and all others suffer.
So you're going to give all the power of the vote to the media?
To the media?
Yeah. Well,
and I mean, there's more than just the media.
So let's say that
there's more than just the media. There's door knocking.
If you had, let's say you had 4 politicians, right? And all of them were funded with public financing, they all got the same amount. Let's say it was $1 million, right? Let's just say it was. Whichever politician mass media covers the most, that's actually going to be the politician that wins. It doesn't matter the money at that point, because media who's covering them, they'll always be able to pump in whatever money they want. They'll end up electing the person that they want.
Well, maybe we should make laws against that as well.
What do those look like?
Know.
You don't. Yeah, exactly. You don't know.
Everyone thinks they know how to run a centralized power. They believe they know how to cut down corruption, to make the system work. But the system from its inception was always doomed to fail. Yeah, it's amazing our constitutional republic lasted a few centuries, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what some laws say, what a piece of paper says. Power is all that matters. If people want to do away with the Constitution, all they have to do is convince enough of the populace that it's in their interest. The document doesn't defend itself. It only holds as long as people with power choose to uphold it. That's why media is so powerful and dangerous, because control over information shapes perception, and perception changes political outcomes. Centralized media structures, like Andrew says, don't just report on power. They influence who gets the power. So the answer isn't another centralized institution. It isn't more centralized control. That's what everyone keeps insisting we need. More laws, more regulation. The answer is decentralization. Decentralization of power, of media, of information, of technology.
You just made my point for me. If you're disabled, right, and you vote, you're not going to vote against your own disability, are you? You're not going to vote against cash for your own disability.
Well, I don't get any cash for it.
If you did.
Of course I wouldn't.
Of course you wouldn't. You're going to vote in your interest, and that interest is robbing the treasury of other people's money for you. That's the problem with democracy and power blocks, and that's why your plan of both sidesing, all the both sidesers, are retarded.